Today we're exploring Little Traverse Bay in the northwest corner of Michigan's Lower Peninsula. We're halfway between the Mackinac Bridge and Traverse City on Lake Michigan. This is a beautiful area and popular with tourists, boaters, campers, and cyclists. The trail follows the shoreline of Little Traverse Bay, where we'll encounter quaint bayside towns bustling with restaurants and gift shops, antique stores, and coffee shops. It's all here, and we're going to show you as much as we can. First, we'll tootle around the neighborhood in search of mushroom houses. We'll ride on to Petoskey, taking in the History Museum and Grandpa's e-bike rentals. And we'll stop in the headquarters of the Top of Michigan Trails Council and Petoskey Brewing before we head around the north side of the bay to Harbor Springs to grab a cookie or two at Tom's Mom's. You're going to like this trail. This episode is sponsored by Perrone Vineyards and Farmhouse Stay. Modern, comfortable accommodations in a quiet country setting will have you coming as friends, but leaving as family. Before we start down the trail, let's bike around the cute town of Charlevoix. This canal, first dug here in the 1860s, is its main feature. The canal allows commercial, industrial, and recreational boat traffic to use Round Lake, which sits in the middle of town, as a natural harbor. This canal and harbor gave Charlevoix its economic importance and created commerce for this whole region. I can tell this town, with all the shops, manicured waterfront park, and this beautiful harbor, is very popular in tourist season. Some things you won't see anywhere else are these odd-looking homes. They're the creation of self-taught builder Earl Young in the middle 1900s. Young used naturally occurring local materials to build 26 houses and 4 commercial properties, all featuring this very organic look. Each was designed to blend in with the landscape. Known as mushroom houses, they're pretty easy to find.
Now that we've seen a little bit of Charlevoix, it's time to hit the trail. Now in Charlevoix, the trail starts at Route 31 and Waller Road. We actually had to park down at the Charlevoix Township Fire Station and Community Park about a half a mile down Waller Road. The trail is paved all the way to Harbor Springs, and that's about 26 miles away. So let's hit it.
These first few miles of trail follow Highway 31 through some housing and forested areas as we make our way through a nature preserve to the bayfront. I didn't measure it, but this boardwalk is about 3/4 mile long. I found it interesting that beautiful Lake Michigan is the deadliest of the Great Lakes. The lake is a long oval that runs north to south. Those west winds create the famous Michigan sand dunes, but also cause giant waves and dangerous currents. Rescues and drownings are far more common here than at the other Great Lakes. The wind and water contribute to deep shoreline erosion too. I guess we shall enjoy the trail and the view, but avoid a swim. Anytime you're near the water, expect a breeze. On this trip, the weather went from clouds and wind to rain to sunshine and back to clouds quickly. Add that to your packing plan. Here's our first roadside park, complete with beautiful views. At approximately 45 square miles, Little Traverse Bay is Lake Michigan's 4th largest bay. For centuries, the Odawa Indians made this land their home. The bay's location on the Great Lakes and its abundant natural resources made it desirable for Native Americans and for early European settlers. Fur trading, fishing, and lumbering, along with many resort communities, were all well established here long before Michigan became a state. While your friends are recording amazing footage of the bay and Lake Michigan beyond with their drone, you can look for Petoskey stones, the official state stone of Michigan. It's actually fossilized coral found in this area. Don't worry if you can't find one. Stores sell them everywhere. Those of you who like hills will want to savor this moment. We're climbing one of only a few hills on the whole trail. I asked my friend Dale Covey to ride with us. He has a summer home in the area and rides all the Top of Michigan trails. The Bay Harbor Tunnel signals a slight change in scenery. We've entered Bay Harbor, a luxury community stretching 5 miles along the water. It features residential neighborhoods, vacation rentals, a luxury hotel, stunning views, boutique shopping, fine waterfront dining, world-class golf, and a private deep-water marina. The area is obviously prime real estate and caters to those locals and tourists seeking designer shops and a luxury experience. This is East Park, located at the edge of Bay Harbor. There's another view of the luxury hotel in the distance, Inn at Bay Harbor. Here you'll find beautiful landscaping and plenty of green space to spread out for a picnic or a mid-ride nap. And look at these breathtaking views of the entire bay and Greater Lake Michigan. Did I mention playground equipment? I guess I better get back on my bike. From East Park, this section of trail offers some beautiful turnouts with benches for cyclists to stop and take in the view. It took hundreds of millions of years to form this bay. Vast seas covered the land, depositing layers of limestone. As the seas receded, the land rose up and a great river carved the valley that is Lake Michigan. A tributary carved this 10-mile-long Little Traverse Bay. We're winding through the west neighborhoods of Petoskey. The Little Brown Church is the oldest building in Petoskey. The St. Francis Solanus Indian Mission was the first Catholic church established here in 1859. Used by natives until 1896, it was last fully restored in 2008. The grave markers indicate a cemetery, but there are no records of whom is buried here. No teaming or driving. More about that later, because we've entered Bayfront Park, and here is the original train station.
Right beside the trail is the Little Traverse History Museum. It's housed in this beautiful old depot, and we're lucky to have the executive director, Jane Garver, with us today. Jane, thank you so much for taking time out of your day for us.
Well, thanks for visiting. We're so happy to have you here.
Jane, tell us some of the highlights we'll see inside the museum.
Some of our main exhibits include Petoskey firsts, some things about the railroad, Ernest Hemingway and his connection to northern Michigan, Native American history, natural history, including the Petoskey stones and the passenger pigeons.
Oh, well, tell us a little more about Ernest Hemingway.
His family spent time here every summer. Their family cottage is still here, and so Ernest Hemingway's writing, you can see the connection to northern Michigan. When he's writing about Nick Adams and all his time spent outdoors, you can really picture the area.
Jane, one of the tragic stories that you depict in the museum is about the passenger pigeons.
Yes, the passenger pigeons had one of the last great nestings here in northern Michigan. Unfortunately, after that, they died off. They went extinct in 1914, but we do tell the sad story of the passenger pigeon here at the museum.
They were kind of hunted away, weren't they?
They were, yes. Shipped out in barrels right here from the station.
And another interesting part about the depot is that some of the tracks are still here because the trail, of course, uses the old railway.
Yes.
But you've got a little piece of the tracks here and right in front of us.
Yes. So the trail for the biking is on the old railroad tracks. It's a Rails to Trails project, but we did convince them to keep a little bit of track here for us, so people who are railroad enthusiasts like to see that part of it. And the depot was built in 1892. They built it in 6 weeks. And so we're thrilled that it's still a beautiful building, still standing, and adds a lot to the area history.
It does. It's really pretty inside. Well, it's a great stop right here along the trail, so we can't miss it. We're riding along. Thank you so much, Jane.
Yes, thank you.
Just a Petoskey stone's throw away from the History Museum is the way to get to downtown Petoskey from the bike trail. Bike trail's down at water level and Petoskey sits up on a hill. So we've got two ways we can get there. We can take this ramp and ride up, as you see some folks doing now, or we can walk up these steps. Let's go look at it. I love how Petoskey has made this unique way to get riders off the trail right up to downtown Petoskey, right through this tunnel. Pretty cool. We're not going to be able to do it today because we've got to stick to the trail though.
Bayfront Park is the center of outdoor waterfront activities in Petoskey. This beautiful city park offers a marina, live concerts, and this fishing pond just for kids. The name Lime Kiln Pond tells me there was a lime kiln here. I told you this valley was created by millions of years of limestone deposits. They cooked the limestone into quicklime, which is used in a variety of industries. From where Dale and I are riding, it's about 3.5 miles as the Seagull flies across the bay to Harbor Springs, our final destination.
The perfect time to try something new is when you're on vacation because you can rent it. I've always wanted to try one of those electric bikes, and Grandpa's e-bike rentals is right up this way, next to Kilwin's Chocolates. So, Grandpa,
Yeah,
tell me about these electric bikes.
well, we've got a motto here, and it's basically make biking fun again.
Yeah,
And the rest of it is no more hills.
okay.
That's what really makes it fun again. But we kind of pander to the crowd of people like myself, 69 years old, can't get up those hills anymore. So we put them on e-bikes. We've got step-throughs, makes it easy to get on and off. And the trails are just over the bluff here, and you can go for miles. And on an e-bike, you can do that.
Yeah.
10 miles is like nothing on an e-bike.
Oh, I bet. I've always wanted to try one. I bet they're good in headwinds too, and you get a lot of wind off the lake, I bet.
You get a bunch of wind.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just makes biking doable. We give people in here prosthetics, range of motion problems, COPD. We got a whole host of people that come in here and ride them. People that haven't ridden in 20 years come in here and get on these bikes and just have the time of their life.
Well, you know, one thing that you had said to me earlier that I thought was so good is if we have, those of us who cycle a lot, if we bring a friend who doesn't cycle very much, shoot, I can ride my regular bike.
Yep.
And my friend can,
Yep.
we can rent.
Keep up with you.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, these bikes will move, 15, 18 mile an hour, no problem. So.
Well, I'm anxious to try one. So, Grandpa, show me how to use this bad boy.
Well, first and foremost, it's a bicycle.
Okay.
Okay, it's got 7 speeds, Shimano shifter, up and down with the levers.
Okay.
You got disc brakes,
Okay.
and that basically covers it. It's a bicycle, but here's the electric part over here.
Ah.
The middle button turns it on.
Okay.
You've got 5 levels of assist with the up and down buttons.
Yeah.
Each level gives you more power. When you pedal, you get assist. When you stop, it stops. Touch either one of the brake levers, it stops immediately, pushing you. And it's just like somebody putting their hand on your back and giving you a little push. It's not like it's going to take off and do a wheelie or anything.
I'm not going to crash it.
No, but headwinds, no longer a problem. Hills, gone. Back to our motto again.
And we do have
No
a little
more
bit of a
hills.
hill here coming up here, so that this should make it really easy.
Yeah.
Oh, goody! I can't wait. Oh my gosh, that was like a lot of fun.
Great.
I had no idea that was going to be that much fun to have an assist. I loved it. Thank you so very much
You're
for letting me
welcome.
try that out.
Come on back again.
Alrighty.
Here in Petoskey, the trail follows the original Traverse Bay Wheelway. That's what they called this path in the 1880s and 90s when it was first cut through as a route for walkers and bicyclists. The train tracks were already here, but bicycles were all the rage and demanded a separate path. Here we ride past many old homes that appear to be from the same era. Horses weren't allowed on the trail, thus the no teaming or driving gates over the path. We passed 3 of those replica gates. The trail passes through the neighborhoods east of downtown and into a commercial area of big stores and restaurants. Until we get to this mural depicting the various modes of transportation used on the Wheelway throughout its history. It's painted on the back of the D&W Fresh Market grocery store. You'll see the front of the store if you drive through town. In the background there, you can see the end of the bay and another good place to make a home base as you explore this area, Petoskey State Park. Conveniently located, it offers 2 modern campgrounds, a mile-long swimming beach, and hiking trails. The top of Michigan Trails Council headquarters is a peaceful sanctuary next to busy highway M119.
Rolling along the trail, you ought to stop in to see this cute little building. This is the headquarters of the Top of Michigan Trails Council. We popped in and we're lucky enough to talk to Becca Nelson here with the Trails Council. And Becca, thanks for having us so that we could ask you a few questions about what you do here.
Great, well thanks for stopping by and checking us out. So we work, basically we call it AMP, which doesn't really mean much to you, but to us it means we work to advocate, maintain, and promote the trails in northern Michigan. So the first one, advocate, we find where trails need to be placed and work to get them done, help raise the money, help work with the DNR. A lot of our trails are rail trails, so a lot of it goes through state land, but you know, whoever the property owner may be, we work with them. We're that entity to help get those built, maintain. You know, once they're built, you want them in nice condition to use. So we've got a great contractor who works with us, who gets volunteers out and cleans the trails, removes debris, makes sure that the trees that grow up around it, those get trimmed back so you can see when other people are approaching. We host a marathon that runs from Charlevoix to Harbor Springs on the Wheelway, so that addresses running. We work with 4th graders in our county. Every spring they go out on another trail that we have, the Northwest State Trail, that's across the street from where we're standing. And they learn the proper technique for riding a bike, etiquette. They get a history lesson, map reading lesson. It's pretty cool. It's a really great program for all those 4th graders.
Well, and this location is perfect. We're right beside the trail. Tell us a little bit about this beautiful house.
So, right, it was a house. It's, I believe it was built in the late 1800s, early 1900s, although they can only track ownership back to the 1920s. But a couple years ago, we had a board member and other support from the community that were really excited. It came on the market and they were like, wow, that's on the Wheelway. It's across from the Northwest State Trail. The North Country Trail runs right past there. How cool would that be to have that location? And so with great community support, we bought it.
Well, and it's so nice. I noticed you have a porta-john here, and you said because you can't man the office all day long.
Right.
So tell us.
We have a 2-person staff, so it is it's hard to be here all of the time. We do have great volunteers who come and help with us.
So trail riders, any time of the day, you can still pop in here and use the porta-john or get a map, take a break in this nice shade.
Yeah, we have a great lawn.
You're very blessed here in the top of the mitten with so many trails.
And
over 300
we can really miles. So
and we can really thank the Top of Michigan Trails Council for just so much.
Well, thank you. We wouldn't be here without people riding them. So.
True. Becca, thank you so much for your time.
No problem.
Right across the highway from the council office is a place we've been told we can get excellent food and drink.
Here we are at Petoskey Brewing Company, and I've got the operations manager with me, Tyler Gastinger. Tyler, thanks for taking a few minutes out of your day to talk to us about Petoskey Brewing Company.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you guys here.
Thank you. So tell us, what should we know about, we're right beside the trail, so cyclists must be in here all the time.
We do get a lot of bikes. We have bike racks both in the front and the back of our brewery, but most days there's about 30 bikes on each one. So we get a lot of bikers in here, and we built this beer garden that we're sitting in right now basically for the bikers. You know,
excellent.
It's great to have a spot where you can roll up and have a cold beer and get back on the trail. Not too many beers while you're biking, but one's good, you know.
And I hear your food is excellent, your burgers?
Yeah, we were voted best burger in Petoskey. Our burgers are all fresh ingredients. We get the meat ground every day at Toskey Sands down the street, and we have fresh bacon from Plass up the road. So we just use really fresh ingredients, good ingredients, and it just juicy burgers.
And tell us a little bit about the beers you serve here.
Yeah, we have 18 different styles that we have at all times.
Wow.
We have 5 that we pretty much have year round, and the other 13 just rotate. So it just kind of depends on the season and what we feel like brewing at the time, but we have something for everybody that comes in.
Great, great. You have some activities here too, looks like.
Yeah, we have, bag toss, Connect 4. We got a couple games for people to play. It's nice to entertain the families, and people are allowed to bring their dogs back here, so there's just something for everybody to do.
Tell me a little bit, your building, we can't miss this building because it
Yeah.
towers above both trails.
So the building is over 70 feet high, and it's only 20 feet wide. So it was built as Petoskey Brewing in 1898, and they closed down 5 years before Prohibition when our county went dry. So the building's very unique. You can't miss it. It was built so tall because it was all gravity fed when they had to do the brewing process, because they didn't have pumps like we do today to pump the beer side to side. It all had to go down the process for brewing. So that's why every brewery building back then was 4 stories high.
Oh, wow. And you pulled the water right out of this, what's this called, Mud Lake?
Mud Lake back here, yeah. So they used to, in the historical brewery, they would take ice off the lake and store it in the cellars down below for the other seasons. But for us, we have an artesian spring well that hits the Lake Superior Aquifer 300 feet down that we drilled when we first bought the building. So it's about the most pure water you can brew with, and we're just excited. We don't have to treat it or anything. We just filter it and put it right into our beer. So
No wonders you're so popular.
yeah, it helps.
Tyler, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks.
To return to the trail, we have to cross Highway M119 again. This part of the ride is definitely my least favorite. The trail is right beside the highway through a mostly commercial district. There is an alternate route into Harbor Springs on roads and streets. Just north of the Petoskey State Park entrance, take Beach Road to the left. Even the Top of Michigan Trails website offers this alternate route. It takes you into the downtown business district. But this is a trail show, and I want to show you the actual trail. Here, the trail turns left and follows along the north side of the Harbor Springs Airport. I think this is pretty cool to bike through the airport. Is that a glider sitting there? Leaving the airport, I had to cross the highway at the traffic light at Pleasant View Road and follow the highway on the north side. This part of the trail is a little nicer, with a wider paved trail that alternates between running the highway shoulder and meandering into the woods. The Harbor Springs Trailhead is near the ball fields at Lake Road and Hoyt Street on the east side of town, where modern restrooms and ample parking are available.
Well, the Little Traverse Wheelway ends right here in Cosequat Park in Harbor Springs. However, no trip to Harbor Springs would be complete without a stop at Tom's Mom's Cookies. So that's where we're going to go next.
Just follow the cookie crumbs.
Well, we made it to Harbor Springs, and that'll do it for this episode of the Little Traverse Wheelway. I hope to see you on another path peddling adventure.